Suicide is defined as death caused by self-directed, injurious behavior with an intent to die as a result of the behavior. It is important to understand that suicide is the result of many factors in a person's life and not one particular event or discussion. Suicide is very complex. There is no single explanation. Aside from mental health conditions, contributing factors to being at risk of suicide may include people in whose life anxiety and depression is induced. So they are likely to take their own lives more than other people. Depression is a major cause of suicide. However, not everyone with depression is suicidal. Similarly, not everyone who takes their own life has depression. Substance abuse, chronic health issues, pain or physical disability, feelings of isolation, loss of interest in work, school, or hobbies, and withdrawal from social activities, friends, and family. Experiencing or expecting a significant personal loss like that of a spouse or other. Drastic change in behavior, often taking unnecessary risks as if they didn't care what happened. Increased use of alcohol and drugs. Signs of preparing for death, making funeral arrangements, or giving away prized possessions. The most significant is the expression of suicidal intent. Any combination of these actions might alert both family and friends that a person is struggling with life and considering suicide as the only option left in life. In our society, it is widely seen that if a person is undergoing a mental health crisis or is experiencing suicidal thoughts, then there is stigma around it, and it is very deep and pronounced. Someone who is thinking about suicide will usually give some clues or signs to prepare around the early warning indicators that he or she is thinking to die soon. Though these clues might be subtle, but everyone is different and there is no definitive way to predict how someone will act. But suicide prevention starts with recognizing the warning signs and taking them seriously. These may include a sense of hopelessness or no hope for the future. Things like no one understands me, so one is isolated and feeling alone. Aggressiveness and irritability, with statements like leave me alone. Possessing lethal means like even medication, psychotropic drugs, and even weapons. Negative view of self, I am worthless. Drastic changes in mood and behavior. Frequently talking about death, that if I died, will you miss me? Self-harming behaviors like cutting, engaging in risky behaviors, I'll try anything, I am not afraid to die, making funeral arrangements, giving away things like clothes and expensive gifts or cars. When I'm gone, I want you to have this. Substance abuse, and last but not the least, feeling like a burden to others, that you would be better off without me. So how do we respond to suicide warning signs? We need to speak up if you are worried that someone may be thinking about suicide. Talking to someone about their suicidal thoughts can be very challenging, but if you think someone might be thinking about killing themselves, the best way is to find out and to ask without judgments. You will not be putting the idea in someone's head by doing so if you ask if they are thinking about suicide. In fact, giving a suicidal person the opportunity to express their feelings can give relief from isolation and pent-up negative feelings, and may in fact reduce the risk of suicide. Society will always judge, as no two opinions are the same. Stigma around suicide can be due to lack of understanding of the complexity of suicide. Stigma can be based on negative beliefs or attitudes. Stigma can also lead to a person feeling embarrassed, misunderstood, and marginalized. So, does that mean that anyone whom we know is planning to die and making preparation around it will be left alone by us? And should we allow the opportunity that if we have any iota of awareness, so should we allow that person to die? What is the stigma around suicide? Stigma is when a person is viewed negatively or is discredited, and as a result is treated differently. We need to recognize the signs when someone needs help. It is not always possible to know when someone needs help, but there are suicide warnings that you can look out for. Try to move past any discomfort you may feel about how to help. Act on those thoughts and concerns, as your help could make all the significant difference and save life. If you're worried about someone you know, you should call any suicide helpline and provide an ardent ear. If there's an immediate risk, you should try to befriend the person genuinely about their concern and try to calm the person down and understand his or her understanding of why he or she does not wish to live. People with life experience shouldn't be expected to carry this weight alone. Tackling the stigma and busting the myths around suicide is a part that we all can play. You should examine your thought processes and understanding that are they right? Could you be more sensitive and non-judgmental? Your words matter. Use safe and inclusive language to avoid alienating anyone. For example, instead of using the word committing suicide, you should use safe and inclusive language to avoid discrediting and disrespecting people. And you could say, took their own life or died by suicide. Mindframe has a short language guide with more examples. One must use one's social networks to discuss suicide prevention openly, share content on social media, and spread the word. When we embark on the journey of self-discovery and self-awareness, we must open the door to personal growth and transformation. By becoming knowledgeable about mental health conditions, we deepen our understanding not of ourselves but of others. Educating ourselves about mental health equips us with coping strategies and self-care techniques. We can learn practical tools to manage stress, regulate emotions, and improve our overall well-being. In addition, by educating ourselves more on suicide prevention, we can better ally to those around us who may be experiencing mental health challenges. We must offer our support, understanding, and empathy by creating a network of care and strengthening meaningful connections. This increased awareness helps us to develop empathy and compassion for those genuinely who may be going through similar challenges. It allows us to create a supportive and understanding environment around us fostering stronger connections and relationships. Moreover, as we recognize and understand mental and emotional states, we gain valuable insights into our strengths, weaknesses, and areas of improvement. Promoting positive conversations around mental health is indeed one of the essential reasons why being educated about mental health is so very important and imperative. By increasing our knowledge and understanding, we can contribute to a more compassionate and supportive society where mental health is prioritized and the stigma around it is reduced. This will help us to enable anyone to understand that it is okay. Understanding mental health allows us to recognize and respond to early signs and symptoms. Just as with physical health, early intervention is the key to preventing conditions from escalating and causing more significant distress. When we are aware of the potential warning signs, we can take proactive steps to seek support and treatment, leading to better outcomes and faster recovery. Always maintaining a positive outlook in life and thinking that there is always a solution to every problem is the key to preventing suicide. Suicide can be combated for sure 100%. Expression of suicidal thoughts is referred to as suicide ideation by mental health professionals. There is no typical suicidal person in the world. If you are feeling suicidal, it is likely that you have felt increasingly hopeless and worthless for some time. You may not know what has caused you to feel this way, but it is often a combination of factors. Struggling to cope with certain difficulties in your life can feel you to believe that you do not wish to live. These difficulties may include bereavement, losing a loved one, the end of a relationship or friendship, long-term physical pain or illness, money problems, adjusting to a big change such as retirement or redundancy, doubts about your orientation, gender identity, cultural pressure such as forced marriage, society's expectation, for example, to act in a certain way or achieve certain things, and other forms of trauma. Suicide is a serious public health problem that can have long-lasting effects on individuals, families, and communities. Preventing suicide requires strategies at all levels of society. There requires a very foolproof safety plan intervention that the society needs, and it involves warning signs that a suicidal crisis may be developing, specific things like activities or places that will distract a person's attention away from suicidal thoughts, people who can help an individual distract themselves, people with whom they can discuss their distress and suicidal thoughts and feel heard and supported, professionals for consultations, and a plan to reduce access to lethal means in the home or immediate environment, the person's unique hopes for the future and reason for living. Always remember, it is important to recognize that chronic suicidal ideation can affect anyone regardless of the demographic characteristics. However, understanding the specific challenges faced by different populations allows for targeting interventions that address their unique experiences in life. Remember, the essence of life is your absolute truth. Once you embrace the essence, life becomes meaningful. You may cry, you may fall along the way, and you have to come a very long way as you march forward. But the important thing is that you keep going. In the end, it does not matter how long it took you to get there. What matters is that you catch your dream because you did not quit. Life is very important. It is meaningful for all divine souls to understand the purpose of life, and saving one life is next to being a God in someone's life.